Okay, I'm back. I tried to get it all done in one 15-minute shot, but it didn't happen. Uh, I'm sure you all noticed too that I changed shirts. I'm now wearing a shirt without a collar, just a plain old tee, because I was getting some scratchy feedback, and I think it was because my shirt was rubbing against the mic. Hopefully, this will help out. Maybe this set of earphones is just shot. So yeah, I'm wearing my Jean-Michel Basquiat t-shirt. He was a famous artist and muralist in New York and was a contemporary of Andy Warhol. But that's in the 60s. We'll talk a little bit about Andy Warhol later. But enough about me. Let's get to the really interesting stuff, which is peer review. So we've already talked a little bit about how we're going to set it up. Now, for the second part, once you get the information, you are the reviewer now, and you're reading that paper once from beginning to end. Um, you're not going to mark punctuation or grammar yet because what we're worried about here is the large ideas, the large structure. Grammar, word choice, punctuation, that's sentence structure. That's like the tiniest level of structure that we have in the essay. A little bit larger than that is paragraph structure, triac structure, or thea structure. Um, Topic, sentence, illustration, analysis. The largest structure is essay structure. Thesis statement, supportive thesis statement in the body paragraphs, introduction, conclusion. So we want to look at these two large structures first. If we use the analogy of a car, the way you need to look at it is before you start worrying about the paint job of the car, you want to make sure you've got an engine in there and that it runs, right? You know, that it can go from point A to point B. Maybe it looks like garbage on the outside, it's rusty or whatever. It looks like the dude's car. Um, Fine, but it works, but it doesn't work smoothly, perhaps. That's how an essay is at the rough draft stage. We want to make sure that it works. It's doing what it's intending to do before we worry about really refining it, making it smooth, making it more pleasing to the eye. And again, that's our paint job, and that's fiddling with word choice. That's making sure MLA format is working and you're avoiding dropped quotations. Um, Making sure spelling and all those other smaller issues are in place. Lower order concerns, we sometimes call them. So I'm going to ask you to look at the thesis statement in task number one. Now, in order to do all these things, you're going to need to download the paper from the attachment and open up in Microsoft Word. Once you're there, you're going to go to review so you can start annotating on it. So I'm going to ask you to highlight the peer's thesis statement in the intro and conclusion. And again, if they're off target or if they're not there, just let your peer know. If they need to be, um, if they need to be changed, give them some suggestions. Then you're going to like summarize the essay's argument in a few sentences. This essay shows the agency available to the female protagonists in The Storm and A White Heron. The first paragraph talks about how Sylvie has agency because she does this. The second body paragraph talks about how Sylvie has agency because she does this other thing. The third body paragraph, etc., and so on. It doesn't have to be huge. But, maybe one sentence per body paragraph. If those topic sentences are totally on point, you could use like an abbreviated version of those. Task number two is literary analysis strategies. I'm asking you to take a look there at the literary terms and themes used by the writer. Are there enough of them? Sometimes people just get into summary mode when they're doing a literary analysis essay. And sometimes that's a function of they don't know that they're supposed to put in literary terms. I hope I made that clear at the thesis statement level. Perhaps a larger reason why is that I think sometimes people use paragraphs of full-on summary in the body because they're having like an oh crap moment. Oh crap, I don't know what to put in this essay. It's way too short. I don't know where to start. I'm just going to summarize. And, Hail Mary pass. I hope it scores. Um, if you're finding paragraphs of full summary, you know, you got to let them know. If you find it and you don't let it go as a peer reviewer, you can bet that I'm going to find it. They'd much rather hear it from you before the points are doled out. Because for better or for worse, I'm the one with the points. If you feel like, there are paragraphs, some summary paragraphs that could be turned into something like analysis, think about a literary term or two that could be put in there. Paragraph structure, once again, this is about checking for triac or TS structure. There are a few variations. Remember, the R and the C are optional, but some people might, for a paragraph, make TIAIA or TIIA. Those different versions are totally fine by me. Illustration or example or quote has to come before the analysis. I think that makes pretty good sense. I'm going to ask you to underline the topic sentence in each body paragraph. Sometimes people are just going to want to underline that first sentence and think, well, it's at the top of the paragraph. It must be the topic sentence. It's not always the case, unfortunately. Keep in mind, the topic sentence is capturing the biggest, most important ideas of the paragraph. If the sentence at the top is not doing that, it's not an accurate topic sentence. Another way of looking at it is the topic sentence is a one-sentence summary of the illustration and the analysis, really distilled down to its most essential parts. Does the writer use enough direct quotation from the text to adequately support his or her thesis? I'm looking for at least one direct quotation or one specific reference to the text per body paragraph. If it seems vague, what you need to ask yourself to a peer reviewer is there a quotation or a part of that story or that essay, the exact words that could be put in that would really make it strong? Because if it's missing that illustration part specifically, that paragraph is going to kind of fall apart. The other thing I'll say about quotations is I know some people are concerned about quotations being too long. If you were going 4 or more lines, you're going to use block quotation format, which is a 1-inch indentation. Sometimes you want to break up a block quotation and make it 2 smaller quotations, or use ellipses to just get to the really crucial parts of the quotation for that paragraph. Whatever the case is, remember, analysis is where you really answer the question, so what? Why should I be looking at this illustration? One way to get into analysis, remember, is to make sure that they have like some kind of analysis cue in there. This passage shows that. This quotation helps the reader understand that. These exact words from the short story illustrate that, demonstrate that. All those are signals. Hey, heads up, I'm going to unpack this for you. I'm about to answer the question, so what? I'm about to make a link from that illustration, boom, all the way up to my topic sentence. And from there, all the way up to my thesis statement. All right. All right. Analysis. Remember, I'm talking about plot summary there. I gave you that heads up already. Interpretation or analysis needs to be important. If there's no analysis, if there's no A in those body paragraphs, you're letting the writer do all the work. And remember, the analysis is there in every paragraph to show that you're the one driving the bus, not the writer of whatever work you're talking about. And again, it should avoid biography in the body paragraphs. The only summary and the only biography information that you need in the essay is that which is totally crucial and central to your argument. Everything else, forget it. You can assume that the reader slash grader knows the works that you're talking about, so don't let your peer waste space on summarizing everything or putting in huge biographical chunks if they are not actively working to prove the thesis statement. Okay. You properly use MLA format. Works cited page. Remember, it's a completely separate page. Insert page break to get to that. OWL Online Writing Lab at Purdue. You can Google that to help there. This paper will be using the Works in an Anthology entry. And we can talk a little bit more about that if you've got questions. After you've done all that, you've typed these up, you're going to send them to me and to your peer. If you want to, you can wait until after you've done task 6, which is the paint job section, looking at grammar and diction. You're welcome to use editorial and correctional symbols. Hopefully you guys know some of these already. It's a great shorthand that I think is super helpful for people when they're still, really getting their writing under control. In fact, I'd wait until after I did number 6 right on the essay before I sent back 1 through 5 and the corrected annotated rough draft. Change the name of it to whatever the original title is, peer reviewed by, and then your name. Part 3, I know I'm running out of time again. You're going to answer this question and email it to moi. What feedback in this review was most helpful to you? Write at least 3 sentences explaining what you plan to consider, do, or change in this paper as a result of receiving this feedback. This part is super crucial because, let's face it, there are times in the past where we've gotten back a peer review from somebody, maybe something we did in class, and we said, thanks, bro, up top, jammed it into our bag, never looked at it again, never thought about it again. It just starts merging at a molecular level with like all the hot Cheeto dust and whatever else is at the bottom of your backpack. Little baby Yodas, lip lickers, whatever it is. If you never look at it again, if you never think about the peer review and the suggestions and everything else that they did, this has been an empty exercise. This has been nothing but busy work. And I'm not a fan of busy work, and I don't think any of you are either. So finish that part up. Get it to me. That wraps up the peer review process. If you've got any other questions, please, please, please don't hesitate to let me know. And finally, I will end this video with something really weird. It was snowing on Saturday in my backyard. I'm sure a lot of you other guys in the area got snow too. I hope you're keeping warm. Thanks for watching, and I'll talk to you all soon. Hit me at Remind or through Canvas inbox if you've got any questions.